about what is a API gateway. In this video, I'm talking about what are the capabilities of the API gateway and what could be the benefits of it. Again, I'm referring to engineers documentation. It may feel that I'm just reading out, but generally this is what you have to do. You have to go to the documentation because this is the first hand information. All everything else that you consume is the second hand information. So I'm trying to show you the first hand information, and second hand information is what I'll trying to explain. So if you don't know what is API gateway, please refer to the my last video, or you can Google out for the documentation again. And then once you know what is API gateway, let's talk about the capabilities of it. The first one being the security policies. So as we talked about in the last video also, it can provide a security layer to your application. So all these are handled by the gateway itself, so that not each of your service has to handle it individually at that scale. You can still have some security policy at the services level, but gateway handles most of it. So all the security checks, not all the, but most of the security checks could be done at the gateway layer. The second one being the routing policies. Uh, because we already seen in the above example that it takes the calls from the client and distributes between the services that you have. It can also act as a load balancer, right? It can choose to forward the request in an even odd manner, or it can choose to have any other load balancing algorithm, but it can also behave like an routing manager or a load balancer. You can also use it to just check the health of your service if it's running or not. You can also have a API rate limit by using gateway. You can also tomorrow, if you want to charge for your API uses, let's say per thousand you charge something, so that could also be handled at your gateway layer. So it is very much useful. Observability. So you can have logging, monitoring, tracing, all those added to your gateway. How it is done, it's a complex topic. We can deal with it later, but we can do all these things at a gateway layer. And benefits. All the features or capabilities that we see are already benefits of it. But if we have to talk individually about it, it reduces the complexity of your application, right? Not all your microservices has to handle the calls coming to it individually. Gateway decomposes the security logic to a separate layer and streamline line the request processing for all the clients. All the client knows your gateway, all it has to know is your gateway's URL, and then the gateway has to process everything else. So it makes it very simpler and streamlined. And also it helps in debugging. So you know that you can add health endpoint. So debugging what has gone wrong, how many calls has gone to, how many services, adding traces to your services becomes pretty much easy. So that and all is very much a good benefit of using a API gateway. Also, API gateway and microservices architecture are pretty much hand in hand. If you have a microservice architecture, most often you will find that you will have a API gateway sitting in front of it. The first thing that you see in front of user, we call it a gateway. It can act as a load balancer, it can act as a security proxy, reverse proxy, but on a top level, we see it as a gateway. In this example, the users are calling to load balancer then acting to ingress, which is service discovery, and then all the services are called through this. So it has a lot of benefits. This is all for this video. More to this image I can talk in the next video. Thanks all for watching. Stay tuned for more.